We were first shown the Tenaya Indalo 4 years ago, and then again 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and finally last year it was released with much fanfare. However, it was very different to the original product that we've shown. But the good news is we like it, and we like it a lot, and we think it will become a core part of Tenaya's range going forward. And the reason why we like it, the reason why I've liked it, is because it's an all-rounder. It's capable of doing everything to a high standard really well, which is more than can be said for me using it half of the time. They're flexible and adaptive, making them great for indoor use and also for bouldering outside. But complementing that flexibility is support throughout the forefoot. And this means you can actually edge in them as well, and they don't just flop under the first sign of pressure. Which means that as well as being good for bouldering, they've also been really good while sport climbing outside. For trad climbing, it largely depends on how you're doing. Personally, I tend to go for something that's a little more supportive than this whilst trad climbing, but it's a completely individual choice. That said, I've really liked the Indalo just as a comfortable pair of shoes to go soloing in on the gritstone outcrops of the Peak District. In short, if you're looking at getting one shoe that's capable of doing everything, the Indalo is a good option. So it'd be impossible to review the Indalo without mentioning the Mastia, as the two share a lot of the same DNA. Now the Mastia was actually the first of Tenaya's shoes that really worked for my foot shape. Tenaya historically have been quite narrow within the fit and the last that they use, such as within the Aiti and the Oasi. However, the Mastia, much like the Indalo, have differed. And whilst the Indalo isn't quite as wide as the Mastia, it's certainly a lot wider than the Iati or the Oasi. But the main difference actually comes around the toe, which is much pointier to the Mastia's more rounded edge. And it's also got a little bit lower volume throughout the forefoot. At the back, the heel on the Indalo is actually quite high volume, which will favour some and not others. And as we always say with climbing shoes, try before you buy. When it comes to sizing, Tenaya seem to operate in a different reality to the one that I live in. I have a UK 8.5 foot, and within the Indalo, I have to go down 2 whole UK sizes to a 6.5. Now, this sounds totally implausible, to the point of which if you told me that, I would probably freak out. But don't go too small. They give a bit, but not a lot. Another major way in which the Mastia and the Indalo differ is the fastening system. With the Mastia, it was a single strap, but with the Indalo, they've used the dragstore system. Now, the benefit of this system is that you can adjust it. It's a bit awkward to adjust initially, but the good news is, once it has been adjusted, it doesn't creep or move, and it's not something you're likely to adjust ever again beyond that initial sizing. The fastening system is complemented by that sock lining, much like it was in the Mastia. And this gives it an almost slipper-like feel, with the fastening itself just topping it up and giving it that more precision fit. Another improvement from the Mastia is the toe patch on the top, which have been refined and updated, and is a significant improvement performance-wise in my opinion. And at the back end, Tenaya have used 2 compounds across the heel. A firmer compound along the spine, just to retain shape, and then a softer compound along the side for grip. Tenaya have used Vibram XS grip on the sole. Now this has very much become the industry standard for shoes of this kind, as it provides that perfect balance in between grip and durability. On the note of durability, I've been wearing these quite a lot over the last year, and they've worn really well. And as you can see from them now, they've still got plenty of life left in them. Now price-wise, these do come in at the upper end of the spectrum at £160. Now, I know that prices are rising across the market as we speak, and everything is costing more, and I suspect that 160 will become standard for top-end offerings like the Indalo and its competitors. But the way to look at it would be that within that £160 in the Indalo, you're buying one shoe that can do many different things really well. So whilst I like the Mastia, I would say I've loved the Indalo. It's been a great all-rounder that I've used climbing indoors, both for more conventional style problems and comp style problems. I've used it bouldering outdoors, sport climbing, and trad climbing within a slightly more specialist set of circumstances. It's comfortable, durable, and fun to climb with, and gets a thumbs up from me as far as an all-rounder is concerned.